got a great person on the phone now. As I promised everybody, a former journalist, Laura Demankoe. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. And you?
Oh, well, mate. Well, what is it like up there in far north Queensland today?
Well, it's a sunny day, and you probably wouldn't think it was winter because I can walk around in my shorts and T-shirt and thongs on, and it's not really cold at all.
See, I don't know whether you've looked at Facebook yet, but I did a selfie and I said I wish I could do this show somewhere where it's warm, which is where you are up in Cairns there. Now, the news headlines, Laura, you're a former journalist. The news headlines at the moment is crocodiles are invading your town.
Well, it's not quite that extreme, John.
What's happening? Are they
we
walking
just
down
had an
the
incident
street?
about, I think, 2 to 3 weeks ago where there was a crocodile spotted on the beach in the afternoon at about 2:30 p.m.
No, hang on. There were about 3 of them at Yorkeys Knob. At Yorkeys Knob, was it?
No, at 4 Mile Beach here at Port Douglas.
Oh, righto, yeah. And what happened?
Well, I wasn't there, but this is just what I've been told by my colleagues at work, that the beach was closed off, the police came, closed the beach off, and that was it. I've also been told that it did make the national news. So, yeah.
Well, that's why we've got you on the phone, because it did make national news, and as you know, we do this show from down in Brisbane. I'm just trying to find out. So, was anybody attacked or anything, or nothing like that?
Not as far as I'm aware. I never heard that. So, no, I don't believe so. I think it was just spotted. It was the authorities were alerted, and they closed the beach off, and that was it. And probably a few hours later, the crocodile decided to swim back to the river.
Well, there you go. It was July 19th that happened. And
thank you. Okay.
There you go. So it was a 15-metre crocodile, right? Was spotted. Mm-hmm. In Port Douglas at 4 Mile Beach, on Tuesday afternoon. Police were called to help Port Douglas lifesavers after reports of a crocodile swimming in the surf. Maybe it just wanted to go for a little swim, I don't know, for a surf.
Well, who knows? It could be doing that too.
Port Douglas is not the place to go surfing. But more than likely it was making
its way between the two rivers that we have, the inlet and the river that we have here. They often use the sea as the thoroughfare between the two.
Well, that's right. And if you actually go for a walk all the way down the end of that beach, that's where the inlet is, and you shouldn't go down there anyway, but unless you're with someone professional, because you can actually get some good mud crabs from down there, by the way, if you eat mud crab. But and do you know what? When I used to live in Cairns, don't forget I was a cameraman up there, and we used to film crocodiles all the time, even on the inlet in Cairns there. Remember that time I had to do that video for Seagrass Watch, and I had to go out on a dinghy and then film all the Cairns skyline? So that meant I had to walk through mud flats and everything out on the actual inlet.
Yes, well, that's very true. I wasn't actually there on that day, John.
No.
But with you, and I don't know if I would have actually, because I'm a little bit worried about the crocs. I'm sure they can run a lot faster than me at short distance.
Yeah, but see, I was young then, and it doesn't matter how much you get paid. It was exciting, and Hey, also, I remember, I don't know whether Frank Pagram listens to this show. He's up there in Cairns. I used to hire a boat up there at Port Douglas, a little dinghy as well. It was only 5 horsepower or something. And and there was a crocodile sitting up on the thing, and I said to Frank, he didn't believe it was real, right? And I said, well, let me get this oar out of you know how you got those safety oars just in case the motor breaks down? So yes. I said, let me get these oars and I'll splash it in the water. And he said, John, I won't say what he said on radio, but he said, don't.
Well, that's right,
because they can flip your boat.
Most of the time.
They can flip your boat.
If you're not looking, you can easily mistake them for a log because they're sometimes that same sort of shading colour. But, they can move quite fast when they want to.
Now, Laura, you used to live out in a place called Lightning Ridge down there in New South Wales. Now, making news today is people are flocking to the New South Wales regional city of Dubbo and the surrounding areas because of affordability and quality of life. Now, when you lived in New South Wales, was it affordability and quality of life?
Well, I think it depends on where you live. See, Dubbo is a lot larger than Lightning Ridge or Burke, where I had been living. Dubbo, I think, look, I haven't been to Dubbo since the early 2000s, and that's we're talking about nearly 20 years ago here, at least 15. And it's a larger town. It was already about 30 to 40,000 back then, people, and I think it's definitely expanded since then. It has got a lot of services. You can get all your retail stuff there, and it's generally the central hub for all the smaller towns in central New South Wales. So I believe it's still affordable. And it's got all the services, so... Yeah, for some people they like that, but it is quite a cold place. But, a lot of Australia is cold in winter. I'm quite fortunate to be up here in the north.
Now, when you worked in Lightning Ridge, Laura, as a journo down there, or over there, did you, well, down and over, what was your biggest news story out of, like, living in a place? Because how long were you there for?
A year and a half.
Right, and what was... Geez, it seemed longer than that. Even though I wasn't there, it seemed longer than that. Hey, so what was your biggest news story you did there? I don't know.
Look, I guess getting back to how it seemed longer, it's because I had spent also 2 years prior to that or 2.5 years prior to that over in Burke.
Yeah, that's right,
so
at a radio station down there.
So long.
Yep.
But in Lightning Ridge itself, it was a year and a half. So I can't remember every single news story that I'd done, but I do remember one, and I used to love looking and playing and finding opal and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
Because I think it's a very beautiful stone. And there were these two brothers that had actually dug up a huge piece of opal that would have been, I'd say, at least about... like a big rock. It was basically 50 centimetres in length.
Wow, and how much would that be worth?
Yeah, probably about like 20 centimetres wide, and it had a depth of probably about 25 centimetres. And it had all the different colours going through it. They actually got it sculpted instead of cutting, because you can do a number of different things with that big piece. You could cut it into smaller pieces. You could, and they decided to actually get it, I guess, engraved sort of thing, so that it was like sculptured.
Right.
So it was a very sculptured piece, and it looked like a flowing river, and it was very beautiful, and it's probably the biggest piece, and I took a photo of it too, and it was probably
yes, actually, I think I've seen that photo.
I've ever seen in my life, and it was quite amazing, I guess.
And what do you think that was worth? Millions?
Oh, I would say, like, I don't really know, but I'd guess like
Millions.
$1 million or more.
Easy. And now, speaking of opal mining and down there at Lightning Ridge, Foxtel's got a show out. The season's just finished, so that's the end of that series. I'm sure they'll start it up again later on. What are we up to? No, it'll probably start later on in about August or October. But anyway, did you used to climb down those little manholes? Well, not manholes, mines.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I had only been down the ones that were actually a bit more commercialised, or that, actually were sturdy structures with stairs or steps, not like I guess a makeshift mine that someone would work at. The ones I've only been down are more like
when you're walking,
attractions.
When you're going down them, Laura, they're only like, you can just fit your body in them.
Yeah, and I don't really feel that very comfortable with that. So, no, I've only been down the ones that were touristy, like which had steps leading down into
yeah, righto. So you didn't just buy your own little mine, because I thought you bought a lease out there. That's what I thought. Yeah,
no, that was just to live on. So I bought it because I got the lease because it was cheap for me to live there.
Oh,
because
wow.
all I had to pay was rates, because I bought a cabin, a little, what they call a camp.
So you're allowed to actually live on it?
And then all I had to pay was my rate, so I had no rent to pay and just cheap rates for the year. So, yeah, it was a cheap way of living, I guess.
There you go. Now, I chatted to V2 helicopters before, right? Because as you know, I went up in a helicopter for my birthday. And the question is, would you ever come up in a helicopter with me?
Well, I guess so, as long as there was someone else as well who knew what they were doing.
What do you mean? I might go learn how to do it. So once I got my commercial license and stuff, then you would come up, wouldn't you? You've known me for how many years?
I have known you for a long time, John.
That's right.
20 years or so.
Yes.
Yeah, I would come up as long as there's a professional pilot in that helicopter. Definitely, yeah, that I would come up.
Well, I'd be the professional pilot because I would have had my license by then. So, you'll have to listen to the interview, which is coming up very shortly. Now,
okay.
Laura, what is the big gossip up there in North Queensland? Any gossip for me? Come on.
No, well, the first thing that springs to mind is, as you probably know, we get a lot of celebrities in Port Douglas who come here for their holidays.
That's right.
I don't necessarily see all of them as I work, at one particular resort. But Senator Penny Wong, I don't know if she still is senator or not.
Yeah, she's still
Member for Parliament Penny Wong stayed here about a month ago with her partner and kids.
Oh, well, there you go. And did you go up to Penny Wong and say g'day?
No, I just knew who she was, and I thought I'm not going to make a big show and deal about it. And
you're like me. Do you know what? You're like me, and I think that's why myself and celebrities get along, because I just go, "Oh yeah, how you going? Where are you? Are you going to an after party afterwards, and we'll chat there, sort of thing." I don't get starstruck, so.
No, well, I didn't want to, I guess, put her on the spot or make her feel like, a bit embarrassed or anything like that.
And she's on holidays in Port Douglas. Now, I've been speaking of holidays, you're going to Japan soon, where my good favourite person, Denny Hines, she's doing a tour over there. She's in Newcastle at the moment, but she'll be doing a tour over there. Now, are you going to go and find Denny Hines for me?
Well, I would have to get some clues, I guess, to whereabouts in Japan.
I'll let you know. I'll do some research and I'll let you know. It's not that hard. You just go to her Facebook page, Denny Hines, and you'll find out all the information.
And yes, I can definitely do a selfie with her.
Yes, and, that's what I wanted, a selfie with, and forward it on. Now, also, what's happening with Cairns, as in, like, with musicians, and when was the last time they had any big bands up there? Like, it seems Townsville is getting, like, the V8 supercars, so that's Jimmy Barnes and all those people. What does Cairns get?
Cairns does sometimes get big-time entertainers. I mean, I'm not sure if you recall, but only a couple of years ago, maybe it's about 3 years ago now, Elton John came up here and played over at Casale's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain he didn't come to Townsville. Now and again we do, but I think with the V8s, I think Townsville had them before, haven't they, the V8s? They've had them for a while. Yeah.
And you know that big island off as you drive to Port Douglas there, the Celebrity Island, right?
Oh, yes.
Is that still available, or what's happening with that, or has it just been left to rot?
I don't actually know. I think it's called Double Island. And
it's always been called that.
You mention that because I drive to Cairns and between Cairns and Port Douglas.
Well, I've been there, and I've been there when, as you know, I was a cameraman up there and editor. And I've actually been there because we had to fly over there at one time. Well, no, I went on boat. That's right. We went on boat because I haven't been in a chopper before. We went on the boat, and that was when they left it to rot and no one owned it. So Ron and I had to go over there and do a real estate video for the island. So I've been there. It's a beautiful island, but I'm wondering. I'm just wondering right now. I'm curious. What's happening with it?
I actually don't know. I haven't heard anything about the island for a very, very long time. I do often... I was just recently driving to Cairns a few days ago, actually on the weekend, to celebrate my sister's birthday. And as I was driving down, I saw the island as I was approaching Ellis Beach, and I did wonder, I thought, I wonder what they're doing now with the island at the moment. I haven't heard anything in the news at all about Double Island.
So, and you're a local up there. You'd never see any private choppers flying over there or anything?
No.
Because they do have a helipad there. So,
I've never noticed anything.
Well, yeah, because most people... Well, it is a private island. I think, if I do my maths properly in my head, I think Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie owns it. That's the last thing I remember. Because she was filming... Yeah, because when I was down at Movie World, she was filming that Unbroken movie down there. So, so there you go. All right, well, it's Tuesday. Well, I shouldn't say what day it is, but it is Tuesday. Oh, well, we can edit that bit. Laura, thank you very much for being on the show.
No, sure.
Love talking to you. Anything else you want to quickly chat about before I go?
Can't particularly think of anything at this point in time. I'm sort of gearing up for my holiday, which I'm leaving for in 3 days' time.
I want to know whether you've learned how to drive a manual yet.
Say again?
I want to know whether you've learned how to drive a manual yet.
Yes, I drove you in the manual. Gears. Remember that little black Suzuki?
Yes, I do.
That was a manual.
Yes, but I remember one time you nearly went up a one-way straight.
But that's not because it was a manual. That's just because I didn't understand the street direction and the signs.
You're not good in the big city, are you, Dale?
No, I've never lived in a big city.
No, that's right. All right. Hey, enjoy your trip to Japan. And thank you very much for being on the show. We'll repeat this convo straight after, very shortly. And Laura, you're a legend. Thank you for being on the show.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.